The Activision Blizzard lawsuit and walkout is having repercussions around the video game industry. Marvel's given us a better look at Shang Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. And I've got a review of Dwayne Johnson and Emily Blunt on a grand adventure in Disney's Jungle Cruise. All that and the latest and everything cool today in The Rundown. Hey, welcome to The Rundown. My name is Victor Lucas, and thank you for joining me in the Electric Playground. Today's episode is brought to you by the Gaming Stadium. They are Canada's leader in online esports tournament facilitation, and they've got tournaments happening every single weekend. Lots of cool things going on over there. Find out all about them at tgs.gg. All right, today's episode is dedicated to the one and only Bob Odenkirk, who everybody that's following entertainment knows he had some kind of heart thing that went on the set of Breaking Bad yesterday. Or Better Call Saul, on Better Call Saul, and he collapsed, and he's in the hospital. He's stable, thank goodness, but it's quite a scare because the guy is an incredible actor, and he's given us so much entertainment. So here's to you, Bob Odenkirk. I hope that you get well as quickly as possible. All right, let's get started with our rundown. Obviously, the big news in the video game industry right now is that Activision and Blizzard is going through massive upheaval and change. There's a lawsuit that's going on. A lot of people are digging into the history of the company, and a lot of people are speaking their mind about what is going on with this business. There's a lot of history coming up, and a lot of anger and a lot of vitriol. A lot of people are being accused of doing some horrible, horrific things, and there are just some really unspeakable wrongs that have happened to different people within the company. A big emphasis has been on sexual discrimination and sexual abuse, and there's been a whole bunch of news around the scale of paychecks. And it sounds like there needs to be massive change at the company. Ubisoft has joined in with the hundreds and I think it's thousands of people now that are taking part in the Activision Blizzard walkout that's happening today. We've had people reporting from the scene, actually. This is a tweet of a photograph of everybody at the Blizzard headquarters in Irvine, people with protest signs, and people basically standing up and saying we can't have this kind of mistreatment anymore. And what has happened, of course, is that there is the California government is suing Activision Blizzard for the way it has been treating employees. And there's been some unbelievable and inexcusable responses from Activision Blizzard executives. And so the company has got massive egg on its face. And of course, the stock has taken a huge hit for the company as well, which I think is what activated Bobby Kotick to write a letter. And this is a letter that's freely been shared all over the internet. But in the letter, he's basically saying that he's going to do more for employee support. He's going to be having more listening sessions. There are going to be personnel changes, so some people are going to be leaving, and there's going to be new hiring practices. There's going to be in-game changes, and it comes days after the announcement of this lawsuit, and it does feel a little insincere because so much has been able to bubble up. A lot of this news kind of came out everywhere across the video game industry last week, and it's taken Bobby Kotick many days to come forward and to say what he's going to be doing or what he's going to be in charge of doing. And of course, there's a lot of people out there that just don't trust the current executive management that is at Activision Blizzard, because a lot of these folks have been there for many years, and they have either turned a blind eye to some of these abuses, or they've denied them, or they haven't listened. And so consequently, here we are. We have thousands of people across the video game industry, many former employees of Blizzard, Activision Blizzard, many current employees there, but also at lots of other studios everywhere. And there's a lot of anger. I tweeted out earlier today if people think that Bobby Kotick should continue to be the CEO of Activision Blizzard, and you can see it right there. I think it ended up at 96% saying no, and only 4% saying yes. And I honestly don't know how a CEO can take that position when he's got all of these angry people that have felt completely abused or not listened to, or walked over or mistreated or improperly paid or had different responsibilities that don't correlate with the, their job descriptions or their roles or their, comparative to their white male colleagues. They've got a lot of issues there. And of course, what's happening now is that there's going to be, they don't exist in solitude. Activision Blizzard isn't this thing this monolithic company that only exists alone in the video game space. There are a lot of companies with problems. We saw lots of issues, and I imagine that still many issues exist at Riot and at Ubisoft. And I think what's going to happen now is more companies and more employees are going to feel empowered to move towards fairness and to see that there is going to be equality for all employees of these massive studios. And I've said it before, I don't know how people can create in spaces like that, where they don't feel safe, where they don't feel supported, where they don't feel listened to. And step one, that's what you've got to do. If you're asking people to embellish and create awesome things that you can then sell and make billions of dollars, make sure that everybody feels good about coming into the thing. That's job one, It's crazy. And so today there was the Activision Blizzard walkout, and it's a trending topic on Twitter. Lots of people have supported it. I mean, you just have to search the hashtag and you'll see a ton of messages out there. But one of the big things that they want to do with this walkout is get the word out to support charities that are helping, marginalized people out there, people that have sort of been on the front lines and been forgotten about. So Black Girls Code is one of the groups, Futures Without Violence, Girls Who Code, RAIN, Women in Animation, Women in Games International. I think all of this stuff is fantastic, and that's really what it's about. It's like, let's help give people that haven't been listened to amplification, and let's give them some opportunities to express themselves and support them. And yeah, we're going to see massive change in the business. And as ugly as all of this is, and it's been hard for me because, of course, I've got lots of friends across the spectrum of the industry, and I've been to visit these studios many times over my career. And I generally have a pretty optimistic viewpoint of video games. I mean, that's what I started the Electric Playground to do, was to celebrate this medium. And so it's been really hard, And honestly, one of the things that's been hard for me to reconcile is I don't know if I have been friendly with abusers. I don't know if, because I don't know how I'm in the press and people, communicate with me and treat me on their best behavior all the time. So I don't know if they're complete assholes when they say goodbye to me, And it has been tricky, because my job is to interview these people and to go and visit them and to give them a platform to talk about their work. And I love all of that. But I certainly don't want to be doing that if these people are scumbags, if the people that I'm putting in front of the camera are scumbags. And God, we've been doing this for so long. We have many interviews with scumbags from the video game industry. So I hope that, as nasty as all this is, it is a way to weed out the people that have just been taking advantage of it and have just been abusive and awful. And I encourage everybody out there to read up on this as much as possible and to listen to people. One of the people that I want to give a shout out to, I didn't have any video or tweets or anything like that, is Sam Maggs, who is, she just was the lead writer on Ratchet and Clank: A Rift Apart. She worked on, at Insomniac on Spider-Man Miles Morales. She worked at BioWare for a long time, and she's been really honest and forthright talking about her personal experiences, and it's heartbreaking, This is a person that's writing, I think, in animation, definitely in comic books, and she's got books out there. She's a fellow Canadian. She's out of Toronto, but she's just, she's kicking butt, and I'm really proud of her. And I've gotten to know her a little bit over the years, but to read some of the stuff that she has gone through, it just breaks my heart. So yeah, the video game industry has to do better, but we all know that. And support the people that are on that walkout today and pay attention to all the stuff that's going on out there. All right? Okay, let's shift over to some slightly happier territory here and talk about what Marvel's got cooking with Shang Chi. Marvel released a new trailer for Shang Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings today, and we got a much better look at sort of the way specific scenes are going to take shape. Simu Liu, who is our lead, Shang Chi, is a very funny individual. He's got comedic chops, and we're starting to see a little bit more of that kind of eke out in the trailers that are starting to hit right now. And Awkwafina is hilarious as well. We are also getting to see a little bit more of the action elements, and it's not just these weird, pieces that we can't sort of see together. Now we're starting to see that characters that Shang-Chi is going to fight are embellished, and they've got abilities and powers, and buses are going to rip apart, and this just looks so freaking fun. We're also getting a sense of the familial connections and the history of Shang-Chi, and he's visiting ancient temples and modern cities, and I think everything is kind of taking place in the parts of it are taking place in the San Francisco area, which is pretty cool, and Ant-Man took place there, which is pretty awesome as well. And we also get a chance to take a look at some of the metaphysical elements of Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. It was only a minute long. That was from last week. It was only a minute long, so we don't get the full scope of what we're going to see. And obviously, this is a massive new, Phase 4 film for Marvel, and it's a character that many of us, including myself, don't know anything about, and I've never read a Shang-Chi comic in my life, so I am very, very curious to see how this all comes together. I can't wait to see more, and of course, this is probably all the stuff that they had planned for last year to ramp up and get us closer to the release date of the film. It's finally hitting theaters, and one of the big messages that Marvel and Disney are putting out there is that you'll only be able to see it in theaters on September 3rd, so stay tuned for that. Something that you are going to be able to watch in theaters on July 30th, but also on Disney Plus Premier Access, is Jungle Cruise, and I've got a review for you right now. Last night, I was able to watch Emily Blunt and Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson kick some serious butt in this, period adventure film, which absolutely evokes Indiana Jones. And it's a great connection to a theme park attraction that my family and I have had a lot of fun visiting whenever we've gone to Disneyland. It's a very cheesy ride where, I don't know if you have been to this Disneyland ride, and I encourage you to go there, because this is another one of these blockbuster movies that's based on a theme park attraction. Go figure. We live in a weird reality, don't we? But the theme park ride is kind of cheesy because you get a tour guide that's got all of these puns and witticisms and quotes about what we're seeing as we're cruising around inside the boat. And what I loved about this movie right from the start is that The Rock, Dwayne Johnson's character, is one of these tour guides, and he's got all of these different connections to things that are going on, and it's all a little bit cheeseball, and it's all a little fake and phony, but he scares the tourists, and I just thought that was hilarious because he's trying to, get as much money from them as possible. He's also indebted to a local kind of boat baron in this Amazonian village that he lives in, who keeps giving him money to augment his boat, and eventually says he calls in the chips and steals his key. And then what we see is that Emily Blunt's character has been on the run or on the hunt for a specific and very powerful ancient medicine. And so she goes to the Amazon to try to find it, and she hooks up with this incredible captain. And I just thought that the two of them have such fantastic chemistry. And what was interesting about this movie is that it's not just the one element that they're showing you. It's not just the ride. This is also the studio that brought out the Pirates of the Caribbean. And so there is this, cool over-the-top action with explosions and lots of daring do and people swinging on vines and stuff like that. But there's also an element of fantasy in here because, they clearly learned a lot about the beats in the Pirates of the Caribbean film. So we also get some fantastical creations and some really kind of cool looking CG with characters that are kind of half there and half not there, and they're kind of intertwined with the jungle. And then some exquisite stunt sequences like this that are obviously CG enhanced, but it looks like the boat is going to go over the water. What I can tell you is that it all kind of coalesced and it worked really well. It's a very fun film. It's a little bit intense and violent. I watched it with my 9-year-old daughter. She was beside me, and she felt a little bit frightened in a few places, but also incredibly entertained. And she said today that that was a great movie that we watched. And I kind of felt the same. And she's already seen Raiders of the Lost Ark. We've already gone through that. So she had, the Indiana Jones kind of comparative to kind of connect the two. And I'm not going to say that this is as good as an Indiana Jones film. I mean, it takes so many lessons from so much cinema, not just the indie movies, but all of the serial films that we've seen before. Plus, what Disney has learned from Pirates of the Caribbean. A lot of stuff that was, obviously more original when, those movies kind of hit the big screen initially. But it utilizes those influences in some pretty clever ways. And Emily Blunt and Dwayne Johnson have great chemistry together. They're just a lot of fun. They're clearly having a very good time with it. And it was just a joy to watch them. And also a lot of the supporting characters, Paul Giamatti's over the top and kind of mustache twirly. I don't remember the actor that plays Emily Blunt's brother, but he's fantastic in this movie as well. And he's a guy that is completely a fish out of water in the Amazon. I encourage you guys to check this out, whether you take the chance and go and hop out and go and see it in the theater, or if you pick this up as a Premier Access picture, you got to rent it for the weekend with Disney Plus. I think you're going to be entertained, but definitely see this with more than just yourself. I think you want to share this one. I think it is pretty much family friendly. I think 9 and up, you're doing fine with it. But I really enjoyed Disney's Jungle Cruise. Even a lot more. I expected that it would be a nice big spectacle, but I got more entertainment value out of it than I was expecting. It is a lot of fun. So I'm going to give the Jungle Cruise an 8.5 out of 10. And I've got just a couple other quick things to tell you about. We've got a trailer and a release date for Baldo, which is coming out on a variety of platforms. This is for the Nintendo Switch that I've got the trailer from right here, and it looks cute as heck. It's like a cel-shaded Legend of Zelda alike with almost like Dragon Quest style characters, lots of zany bad guys and individuals to kind of connect with. Beautiful art and beautiful animation, and it just looks so lush. I can't wait for this one. Comes out August 27th, and I'll be playing it, and I'll come back with some thoughts on it as soon as it is available. And I've got just one other quick thing, and this one put a huge smile on my face. Today, the fine folks at Rocket League announced that the Aston Martin DB5, James Bond's iconic car, is going to be a part of Rocket League. And I haven't played Rocket League in a long time, but this is going to make me play Rocket League. Obviously, it's a tie-in with No Time to Die. Remember, we have a James Bond movie coming out later this year, and they're sort of showing off that Italian village location that's in the new No Time to Die movie. But God, this looks so cool and so fun. I've already got the Batmobile, so I don't know why I need the Aston Martin DB5, but I do. All right, you guys, that's going to do it for the rundown today. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back again tomorrow with a fresh episode for you. So please hit that subscribe button, hit that little bell to be notified. And thank you so much to all of our subscribers and to all of our EPN members out there. We'll see you soon. And until then, play forever.